Welcome back, everyone. I'm Justin with Is It Scary Wisconsin, and I'm joined by my best friend Gage tonight
We're back.
Can't get rid
with
of us.
with one of our favorite series, reviewing reviews. Yes, this is probably one of those things that I enjoy doing the most for off-season content because it's a chance for us to take a look at some of the reviews that customers have left, and just to kind of look at them and say, how much weight should you as a haunt owner really give some of these reviews? Because some of them are as simple as, this sucked, I'll never go again. In which case, Gage and I kind of talk about this sometimes. We would consider that to be more of a opinion. Now, yes, reviews in and of themselves are opinions, but I think to be considered a review, you need to go a little bit deeper and do more than just say, this haunt sucked, actors weren't scary, never going back. Okay, you did nothing for me.
Right.
What really didn't you like? Like, what about them wasn't scary? What was so wrong that this warranted a 1-star review? To be considered a review, I think you need to go deeper than this sucked, actors weren't scary, not going back. So now that we have that established, Gage, let's jump in. Today we're doing Warriors Haunted Asylum. So Dan and the crew, this is for you guys. And we are going to check out some of their 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star reviews and just give our thoughts on the customer's take. So here we go. AE says from 3 months ago, this was our 3rd consecutive year going. Last 2 years were amazing. We couldn't wait to go back and recommended it to everyone. It was cost efficient and the adrenaline rush was fantastic. This year it wasn't close to being the same. We left super disappointed. Hopefully it was just an off night for them, but we wish we could have had our money back, to be honest.
You know, I don't see much structured criticism in that one. You know,
Yeah, and I understand what they mean about an off night.
we've
Right?
we've had those.
Yeah, we've
Definitely.
we've seen those. I don't know if an off night
Warrants a 1-star.
necessarily warrants a 1-star review. So I think if I was a haunt owner, I would look at that and go, okay, we've definitely got some work to do, clearly, but I don't know if I would base my happiness around one review like that. I think if you had a slew of them consecutively for the same year, then I think I'd be really concerned. 3 years ago, Becky says, terrible experience, definitely not worth the money or the time wasted in line. A group member got kicked out in the first room for nothing, and the owner just shrugged his shoulders. Allegedly.
Okay, are they a group member like in their group?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just, well, let me reread that. So definitely not worth the money or the time wasted in line. A group member got kicked out in the first room for nothing, and the owner just shrugged his shoulders. I almost guarantee you they had an explanation given to them. They just weren't listening.
Yeah.
No, what
Yeah.
that wouldn't happen just anywhere.
You know, and here's the thing. We go to so many haunts, and even sometimes, like, you and I will get a little rowdy. Like, and I say rowdy, I don't mean anything overly serious, but we'll get, we get going a little bit. We've never had this experience. We've never had this experience.
This was 3 years ago, by the way. Just note that. Not that it really matters that much, but
Could have just
like
been a-
the way I see that is that could be just like a bunch of teen kids. Becky, she just probably went with her friends, and her friends are being annoying and probably harassing some of the actors or such. Now, I'm painting a picture that probably never happened. Note that. We don't know. It's just it's a vague review, but that's what I think about. I'm trying to think how you could get kicked out of these haunts. And to have an owner just shrug his shoulders, I don't think that's the case. And if Dan was that owner, if that's what they're speaking to, I can't see Dan doing something like that.
I don't see it. AP says 1 star.
That's it. Thanks, AP. Appreciate the input, AP.
All right, Miss says, the overall haunted house was awesome and worth the $15. However, the 2-hour wait wasn't worth it. My group and I stood outside for an hour, and just as we finally got inside, we thought that was the end of the line, but no, another whole hour-long wait. They didn't have food or drinks available. Other than that, great place. I would recommend sticking to the front of the group as that's when most of the scares happen rather than in the back. Yeah, so I can definitely see that kind of being I can definitely see targeting the front versus the back of the group kind of being annoying. And
That's one of my biggest critiques.
Yeah, and we did see a little bit of that when we went, to be fair, too. So I cannot for a second pretend to put, and I think I'm kind of flip-flopping on this, because I think I used to say, well, I understand the complaint about the long waits. I think I'm flip-flopping on this, though, Gage, because I cannot pretend for a second that I feel bad for anybody that complains about long waits at haunted houses. Because those same people would be complaining that they caught other groups in the haunted house. You know what I mean? If you're moving people too fast, and that's why your throughput pace is so important in a haunt. Because, like, look at us. We didn't catch anybody in that haunted attraction until the very end of the haunt. But when we did, it killed the rest of the experience for us. Remember that?
It definitely is something to be noted that it does really play effect. I would prefer longer wait times as opposed to catching a group. Also, do note. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd rather wait an hour and a half or an hour like we did at Perdition and not run into any other customers than wait 25 minutes.
Agreed.
And catch a group to where you're just standing in the room and you're like looking at the actor and they're just like, okay, like what am I supposed to do?
However, this is I'm doubling down. Actually, doubling down. I'm not. I'm going back on what I said last year, because last year we read a review for Green Bay Fear, and Green Bay Fear there was someone upset that the fast line, the VIP line, is throttling the general admission. So the point I want to make is that there needs to be a ratio from fast pass to general admission. Like for every 3 general admission, there's a fast pass that go through. You know what I mean? Because not a lot of people are on that line to begin with. That I've said, because when we were at Green Bay Fear and we took the general admission and here's fast pass, zoom in. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. They paid for it again. And then there's a couple more people that came through the fast pass. Shoom, shoom. They go right in. It's like, are we gonna kind of mix it up here and send at least someone from general admission through? Yeah, now I don't know if that's the case for this. I just want to make that point.
Well, Warriors Haunted Asylum does not have fast pass.
I thought they did.
No, they don't. It's all general admission.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll take back what I said. I don't
think what you said is wrong at all. In fact, I think what you said is totally valid. However, going in, right? You go up there to buy tickets and you're like, oh, how much is admission? $15. Is there a fast pass? No. So that you're waiting in line.
Correct.
This, right?
Like, what will happen.
You're waiting in line. There's nothing you can do about it. There is no way to speed it up. So for me, as a customer, I would look at that and go, okay, this is what it is. There's no way to change this. And I think sometimes people get kind of like upset that they're not the number one focus. You know what I mean, Gage? You and I have kind of talked about this before. Like, oh, the whole night should revolve around me. It should be all about me. All about me. It's my show. Well, no, it's everybody's show, right? We're all going for this experience. And I think that's a lot of times what some people miss, right?
A lot of people think that the main characters do.
Yeah, they do. And it's embarrassing to those of us who truly are. So, I look at a review like this and I think to myself, okay, that would be the 3-star would be the only one that we read that I would consider to be a real review, right?
Correct.
It was worth the $15. The 2-hour wait sucked. They didn't have food or drink available before going into the haunt. Those are all good points to point out. And I actually kind of thought that too as we were walking up into that room where we got our tickets. I found myself thinking, man, how come they're not serving like popcorn? Well, they might have been serving popcorn.
No, they were. Yeah,
but how come they're not serving some sort of like food and drink options up here? Or even like, they might have had bottled water or something. So I remember thinking that to myself and kind of being like, man, there's some opportunities here to really to spice it up here a little bit.
Let's note that review was a couple of years ago,
Yep.
and the year that we went, they did have food, they did have popcorn, they did have drink.
Yeah.
So
popcorn-
they might have improved upon that, which is something I like to see, which
Yeah,
is
that's
how
good,
reviews are done, which is why it's so important to have those descriptive reviews and not say, it sucked, not going back.
Yeah,
You know,
and you know what? This is what really makes me happy about Warriors Haunted Asylum. That's it. This is the 10-minute video, and it's mostly just you and I literally talking about stuff.
mm-hmm.
I would say that they could probably skip 3/4 of this video and get the important stuff.
Agreed.
Because I'm going down here. We got a 4-star already, right? If you're looking to be actually scared, this is the place. Tons of jump scare actors coming out of nowhere. Amazing setup. Met the owner, very nice guy. Will definitely be returning. Better than most haunted houses out there. A year ago, it was very entertaining. It was a very entertaining haunted house. I wouldn't say real scary, but I'm not sure if it's because I binge watched Halloween movies the night before. They did a great job putting the house together. Definitely worth checking out. Michael and Jason both outside, making the wait a bit more fun. Then it just basically goes into like 4 and 5. Amazing. Went on blackout night. Sat by a warm fire while the kiddos got tortured. You know what I'm talking about? Our youngest daughter wanted to go to haunted houses this year, right? So like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? Like look at these. These are good. I mean, look at the positive. I mean, people like this place, dude. And then what do we got for? I would say 1 to 3-star poll reviews. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. Yeah. 3 that actually wrote something, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because anyone can just misclick and put a 4. Who knows that was not like some 8-year-old actually pressing.
3 that actually wrote some. 3 that actually wrote something. You see, AE left a review. It was kind of talking about maybe they had an off night. If I saw a bunch of those kind of reviews coming in one year, I would be concerned as an owner. That's the only one I see like that on here. And then even this one from 2 years ago, is kind of more like, I felt like they were a little bit more understanding about their review. Like, hey, we stood outside for an hour and then another hour inside, didn't realize how long the wait was. But again, right? No fast pass. Okay. All right. You got to know that going into the haunt that you're going to wait. And I think that's something a lot of people struggle with. Gage, final thoughts on Warriors Haunted Asylum, other than the fact that it was awesome.
I mean, when we went, it was a great time. I like to see that if they didn't have food before and now they did, I like to see that they are improving from that 1 3-star review. So that just, again, I will die on this hill. These reviews, being critical about those things is important. Throw in details in your reviews. Help them grow. That's the reason why we're here, and that's the reason why you need to be there and do due diligence to make your reviews. Yeah. 3 stars, 1 star, whatever. Make sure you write something.
And that you make a good point, right? Point out things for them to fix. If you're really gonna complain, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and you're gonna it sucked, not going back. Okay, why? Tell me why specifically, right? Because we say there's no such thing as a 10 out of 10. There's no such thing as an A+. There's no such thing as 100 out of 100. That doesn't.
I don't think there's a such thing as 0 out of 100. By the way, too.
Yeah, I definitely think that if you put time and effort into something, you're going to get a good show out of it, or you're at least going to get something that most people would come through and say this was not a 0. For sure.
I don't think there's such thing as a 1-star review. By the way,
but
if I can be so bold to say that.
Wow, that's whew.
If I can. I don't think there's such thing. There's a 2-star and there's a 4-star.
Sure. But anyway, if you guys have been to Warriors Haunted Asylum, let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you weren't there, hit us up in the comments. Like the video if you guys enjoyed us getting back together for reviewing reviews. I'm Justin with Is It Scary, joined by my best friend Gage. Merch links are in the description. We got these banging Is It Scary Wisconsin t-shirts. And we're going to see you all right here next time. Gage, take us home.
Is it scary, Wisconsin?
I like how I disappear.
You did. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Have a good night.